kingdom of Elohim is like a treasure that when it's found, a man goes and buries in a field by a tree, so that when he recalls where he buried it, he goes and retrieves it. Be glad in heart during times of drought, for the measures have grown in the bowels of the earth, like a woman of Elijah's grace, who increased her measures, saved in a jar to eat. The message concerning the valley of vision. What troubles you now that you have all gone up to the house of tops? You who are filled with turmoils and a noisy city, a city of revelry. Your slain are not slain with the sword, nor the dead in the battle. All your rulers have fled together. Without a bow they are taken captive. All who are found in you are bound together, who have fled from afar. Therefore I said, look away from me. Let me weep bitterly. Do not try to comfort me because of the ravaging of the daughter of my people. For it is in the day of uproar and treading down and perplexity by the Master Yahweh of hosts in the valley of vision, breaking down of a wall and a crying to the mountain. And Elam bore the quiver with the chariots of men and horsemen, and Ker bared the shield. And it shall be that your chariots' choicest valleys shall be filled with the chariots, and the horsemen shall take up portions at the gate. We just got done reading Yeshayahu 22 verses 1 through 7. That's Isaiah 1 verses 1 through 7. So let us take a quick review here and see just what it is we are reading. Watching these world events going down. Yesterday was the celebration of 9/11 memorial, which crosses over during the times of the 6th month, 24th day in Hebrew, spoken of in Haggai chapter 1 at the end. But right now we're reviewing verse 122, the message concerning the valley of vision. What troubles you now that you have all gone up to the housetops? Now the housetops are the tops of the house of all the nations. The housetops are the United Nations Council, and the valley of vision is the valley of Armageddon, of the conclusion of the matter of Revelations, the fullness of the prophecy, the valley of vision, of all slaughter and bloodshed of all the nations of the earth. For we know that 8 people escaped during the times of the past when the worlds were flooded with water. But we know this time that more shall escape, but not as much as we wish. For we know that there's billions and billions and billions and billions of people here on earth. But if I told you right now that the 1 or 2 figs remain on a tree, that 3 figs even remain on a tree, and each fig represented 1 million people for each nation on earth, and there's close to almost, let's give them more of the benefit of doubt, that there's 200 nations. So you mean to tell me that only 3 million people at the tops will remain alive out of 200 something nations? That's not even close to 1 billion people. And if it is, it's just a little bit more. So, with that being said, we really got to think, are we really obeying the word of God, or are we being caught up in the spirit of the times of socialism? Because this is what I see. When I see myself in the spirit a lot, and I prophesy to the cities, and I prophesy to the cities of the earth, the cities of the nations, and I prophesy of the filth that I see, and people look on me with disdain, like if I'm supposed to just fit into society and be one of them, having my eyes focused off Yahweh and focused on the people and the way that I should act according to this universal spirit of Catholicism, of Islam, Chrislam, you name it, everything in the book, all in the Tower of Babel, in the spirit of Babel, which Yahweh abhors. And so you mean to tell me that I'm just supposed to sit back and not do nothing about it? That I'm not supposed to give an uproar about it? That I'm not supposed to prophesy in the spirit of prophecy when the testimony of Yahshua Messiah is the spirit of prophecy? to prophesy about many nations, tongues, kings, and peoples? And you mean to tell me that I'm just supposed to sit back and be quiet? So that when I do prophesy, there's something strange with that man right there. Oh, he's a crazy man. But as I tell my wife, Lot was without sin and testified of the sin of the people. And when it came time to run, prophesying that even if his wife did not turn away from the sins of the people and did not worship Yahweh with her whole heart, that she too would be destroyed. That she too would be destroyed. Yet when it really came time down to see if she had listened to those words, she turned back to look at the city when it was being destroyed by fire. And she got hit by a large chunk of magna, a large chunk of lava, which fucking burnt a hole right through her body and incinerated her on the spot. And so she turned into a pillar of salt so that every generation after that would recognize what it means to serve Yahweh or to serve manna. Are you going to serve the people or are you going to serve Yahweh? If you serve Yahweh, you're going to serve the people right. As the angel said, I am your fellow servant of your brethren, the prophets. So there's this conspiracy going around that there's no more prophets, yet we're in the end of the days. The message is, don't get caught up in this socialism. Don't get caught up in this Antichrist movement that's at the helm of the United Nations at the housetops. Don't be like the Gentiles who are abhorred and dismayed at the signs of the heavens. It's related all to socialism right back to the European Union. In other words, are we going by the Constitution of the United States of America? Are we going by the Constitution of Israel based on the Ten Commandments, who says, and in the scriptures, who our allies are? But then you have all these presidents and all these prime ministers and all these senators and all these people on earth who are leading my people in the wrong direction according to the Democrat spirit of liberalism and not to the Republic spirit of every nation shall abide under their own fig tree and under their own vine, and not crisscross the relationships to where we're forsaking the covenant of our allies of World War II, yet making covenants with our enemies who are just only playing us to deceive us. So this is the message concerning the valley of vision. What troubles you? This is what troubles you. Now that you have all gone up to the house of tops. Now that you have all gone up to the house of tops means that the message of the Antichrist, which many false prophets arise, and many false pastors and congregations all over the earth gathering the flock, blind men leading blind men, so they all fall into a ditch, is centered right here at universalism, right here at the United Nations. That says that's the new Constitution of America, because there's so many diversity in this nation. You have everybody here, Islam, you have Catholics, you have Protestants, you have Orthodox Jews, you have all kinds of Eastern ways, smooth saving ways. And so if you say that the Constitution is based on the Pilgrim people, which it is, the Pilgrim people, the British colonies that came over from England, that worship Yahweh in a different way than the people of the earth who worship, if they do say they worship Yahweh, is in a pagan way related to their nations. But it's first to the Jew, then to the Gentile. First to the Israelite, then to the Gentile. Everything is centered around the nation of Israel. Everything. And we are the descent of Israel. The United Kingdom is the house of David. Prince Williams is the house of David. And yet, we even want to forsake our own people. And this is the message of the Antichrist Continuing verse 2. You who are all filled with turmoils, a noisy city, a city of revelry. The slain are not slain with the sword, nor the dead in the battle. It says in Revelations that cowards shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. Cowards shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. That means if you get swept up in socialism, this new type of flood, not a flood of water, but this new type of flood is related to the floods of armies of the earth. If you get swept up in socialism, then you're a coward. If you stand out and point out the system and point the people back to the ways of old of conservatism, you are not a coward. But apparently if you start to do that, then they call you all types of things. So it says,